Hi, I'm Henry Cash, and this is Chris Vincent from R2R Electric, and we're here to talk about the Cash Boost.
That's right.
Cue the music. The Cash Boost is a treble booster pedal, which I actually didn't know about treble booster pedals before meeting Chris in 2019. I met Chris, he came to a show at the Fonda with our friend Mike Swanson. He was making pedals out of his kitchen, and he asked if I wanted to try out one of his treble booster pedals. And then I looked into treble booster pedals, because it's a very underrated pedal.
Underrated in the name doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, the name doesn't,
a big thing
because it's not really a treble booster.
It's like mids and it's everything.
It's a frequency booster.
That's a good way to put it.
But people talk about fuzz. What fuzz pedal did whoever use, or what delay? But nobody really talks about treble boosters. And it goes from Queen. Brian May was a Vox AC30 with a treble booster. Rory Gallagher, Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi. I mean, the list goes on.
People think about Clapton maybe used it on the Beano album. Unsure. Clapton says he didn't, but God knows if he remembers.
But what most people used were these Rangemasters,
Dallas Arbiter, Dallas Rangemaster.
And so if you go check out old pictures, I mean, you could find pictures of even, I think Jimmy Page, I've seen a picture.
Oh, I'm sure there's probably, they had
on top of amps. So these were amp top boxes that people would plug in, and it would basically be on the whole time.
Right.
And it was made because some of the British tube amps, when they were dimed, were a little bit dark.
Yeah, they would get super old Vox AC30s, the Marshall JTM 45s, the Bluesbreaker amps. When you cranked them up, they sounded sweet, but they get really dark. And so this was kind of an answer to brighten that sound up.
But it really didn't just brighten the sound up. It brought out the mids and made everything a bit more mid-focused and really helped the guitar come out of the mix.
Yeah, it helps him stand out a lot. And another unintentional benefit that you got out of it was, while boosting, you got more gain out of an already dirty amp, and so it was great for leads because it would focus the tone and give you more sustain and gain. So a lot of players loved it.
So when I met you, you were building these.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's there.
Which were copies of these original Rangemasters in a box, also an amp top.
Yeah.
But it's really inconvenient for us pedal users today to use an amp top box, especially because treble boosters like to be the first thing that are seen after the guitar.
Correct.
So you plug into the guitar, into the treble booster, then to your other pedals, then into the amp. Because if you put it somewhere else in the chain, it can get weird. Then you made me this pedal, which was before you had the name R2R Electric. You were just using all old parts out of old tape machines and whatever electronics were around.
Yeah, this logo actually came from some old ham radios that Mike brought to me.
I remember I asked you to tweed this up, and I guess it's pretty hard to put tweed on a pedal. But you did, and so I used this for maybe a couple years, and I really liked it. Up until I got a guitar made by Randy Parsons, which had an MXR boost inside of it. And I kept having problems with the MXR boost inside of it, and realized that I was using a lot of this pedal on my pedal board, and thought, what if I ditched the boost that was in the guitar, and you put this inside my guitar?
Yep.
And then once you did it to one, you did it to another and to another and to another. And now I have probably 6 or 7 of these treble boosters inside of my guitars.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
But then I started playing some older guitars, and I needed a treble booster to be on my board again. And that's when this all came into effect. And the cool thing about these is you use all old parts that you take apart, radios and stuff, and scavenge it for parts. And so these are made with the same kind of old parts that would be in your old Rangemaster. And so and you're one of the few pedal companies, I don't know of any other pedal companies that really do that.
There's a few, not a lot who go as nuts as I do, whereas I use old potentiometers, every resistor, every capacitor, they're all vintage of some sort from the 50s, 60s, 70s. There's a lot of guys who will build with old transistors, which sounds great. Use modern parts with that for the stability of it. It's just a lot more work working with old parts. You got to measure everything. You got to see where it is because they drift and they'll be out of spec. And so you have to kind of like mix and match. You can't just like pick up, out of a parts bin and put it in and expect it to work. So it's just a little extra work.
When I first got this pedal, my original one, it was the first treble booster I used and I really liked it. And I wanted another one of those. And then so you just copied the same thing, but you tweaked the treble booster for this pedal already.
Right, yes. For the way you wanted the sound, we tweaked the input cap a little bit so it had a different voice than a standard Rangemaster. So it's a little bit fuller sounding. Rangemasters typically tend to run very bright. And so we just kind of kicked up a little bit of the mids and lows so it has a bigger, fatter sound. And that was just, we tried out a bunch of different caps and we landed on a specific one that you ended up really liking. And that's what's gone and everything.
Because with treble boosters, you don't want too much bass.
No.
Because if it's too much bass, it takes away from the mid-focus thing. But you do want it to be full at the same time and not just the top treble. And so that's what these really do well.
Yeah, for sure. They get a little woofy if you have too much bass in there because it's boosting every single frequency.
And the other cool thing about treble boosters is that you use your volume and it really reacts to it on your guitar or even the volume on this, but mainly if you use your volume on your guitar with the treble booster, that's the Brian May thing. So Brian May would have his guitar level on 2 and then into a dimed Vox AC30, and that was how you get that clean sound. Not that the sound that these get are anything like that, but
you could get it.
So the thing about treble boosters is that they don't react the way that other pedals react. Or at least they don't in the modern sense. As a guitar player who got into pedals through YouTube, I would always get pedals and my guitar volume's all the way up and I'm not a very dynamic player. It would just be like, "Gah!" and like all the way up and that would be it. But there's a lot to this pedal when you use your volume on your guitar.
Right.
And I feel like that's what a lot of players back in the day used to do. Angus Young, Jimmy Page, everybody was riding their volume, which people don't do that much anymore.
So I found that the higher you can boost the signal, the bigger the tone you're going to get. Basically, gain and volume are one with this. You don't have two separate ones like a modern pedal. You'll have a master and a gain. This is both are in one. So the louder you turn it up, the more gain you're going to get out of it, the more low end you're going to get. So I like to get it as high as I can possibly stand. And then I can roll the volume back on the guitar. That'll clean up the sound a little bit and it'll present more low end. And then when you go back up to 10, you'll get that full on treble boost sound and a lot more gain out of it.
Another thing about treble boosters and the fact that this is all old parts in it, it will make noise. Like this is what it sounds like. But that's just what these pedals do. That's what the Rangemasters did, and it's just part of the thing that you have to deal with. Now you can turn the volume down on the pedal, and you'll get less noise, but you will sacrifice some of that low end, which some of you might not want too. So that could be for you. It's really whatever's best for you on here, but parking it wherever that is probably the way to go. So the thing about these pedals are there's not going to be many of them. There's only going to be 55, and that includes the ones that we have. I have 2 of them, so I might be trying to buy one too. But they're going to be up on Reverb, on R2R Electric's Reverb site.
Right.
And I'm going to have a couple of them out on tour with me. And then after those are gone, they're gone. So don't be one of those guys that has to buy it later from somebody else for more money. Just get it the first time and have one of these for yourself. And then if you don't like it, you can sell it for more money later and be one of those guys.
There you go.
All old parts. This is a one and done. Pink Sparkle. The R2R Cash Boost Germanium Treble Booster. Available now. Go buy yours today. Should shake it just for the camera, right? Oh yeah.